Hello and welcome everyone. Scout Week 11 on the Division 2 for this season's Mutiny Manhunt. As always, today we're going to go over the objectives and explain how to get them nice and quickly. We've just got 2 more weeks to go now on Week 11. Next week is Week 12. And next week is going to be the Master Mission, the climax mission of the season. So very, very close. Very excited for that. So this week, Scout Week 11, we're going to activate the Scout mission. Again, as always, make sure you do this if you want to get these objectives done for this week, otherwise you won't be able to do them. A lot of people save them for stretch goals. If that's what you're doing, great. If not, we'll go through them now. Objective 1 for this week is a supply drop in East Mall will provide additional equipment to support the uprising. This is not the first time we've had this objective. It's quite an annoying one. If we go over to the map, it has to be in East Mall, so we're going to head over to East Mall, and to get a supply drop to drop in this area, we have to make the area friendly. Now, unfortunately, this week it is invaded, so there's going to be a lot of things you need to do. And the first thing is to clear all of the control points. We've got 4 control points. We have to take all them over. And normally that would be enough. But because it's an invaded area, I believe we've also got to clear this week's invasion. We'll test it out first. What I'm going to do is change the map difficulty to normal. So we'll go to global settings, we'll change it to normal just to make this as quick as possible, and yeah, we'll take over all of the control points in East Mall. So I've just taken over all the control points in East Mall, and normally that would be enough to change the area to friendly, which is what is required to get supply drops to spawn. But because of the invaded mission, it's still classed as an invaded area. I'm going to do a little bit of testing now. I'm going to relog a few times now and see if a supply drop can spawn while the area is invaded. If it doesn't, what we're going to have to do is we're going to need to clear the invasion for this week, as I mentioned earlier, because that's the only way to clear the area of it being invaded, which means we're going to do Jefferson Plaza, Space Administration HQ, Lincoln Memorial, Capitol Building, and potentially even Tidal Basin, just to make this area friendly. But we will give it a test, because normally all you got to do is take over all the control points for an area, and then that does allow the supply drops to drop. So let's restart and relog a few times to see if we can get one. So I've relogged a few times now, and I'm not getting a supply drop to spawn in East Mall. So we're going to go over and take over all the invaded missions next. Again, we're going to do it on the lowest difficulty to get these done as quick as possible. So I've got Jefferson Plaza to do. I've got Space Administration HQ to do. And we've also got Lincoln Memorial. So we'll take over all of these missions by completing the invaded versions, and also do the Capitol Building Stronghold, and hopefully that'll be enough to spawn supply drops. Okay, a supply drop has popped up, and it's worth mentioning that I didn't clear the area. We just completed Jefferson Plaza and Lincoln Memorial, and we didn't get to Space Administration or Capitol Building yet. So it can pop up in an invaded area. And not only that, while this popped up, somebody must have taken over a control point as well. I've only ever known these to pop up once all 4 control points have been taken over, so I highly recommend doing that. But after you've done that, you could probably just keep on relogging, or just go about doing other activities until one of these spawn. Now we've got this, we can go ahead and do it. If for whatever reason you've never done a supply drop before, supply drops are fairly simple. You just go, you kill enemies, and there's going to be crates for you to open. So you've just got to open them when they come in. You can see my objective right now is prepare for the supply drop. They've just landed. So we're just killing enemies, and we're fighting over these supply crates. Once you've opened all the supply crates, or the enemies have opened some with you, you've completed the supply drop. And there we go. Scout Activity 1 has been completed for this week. So just to reiterate on that, because we were doing that as we were going, I highly recommend to get a supply drop to spawn in East Mall to take over all of the control points. This would normally make the area friendly, where supply drops are likely to drop. I did think you then had to go and do the invasion, because this week it is currently invaded. But while I was doing that, a supply drop came in, so you do not need to complete all of the invaded missions. It's just a case of waiting for a supply drop to spawn once you have all of the control points. And then that moves us on to objective 2, which is interrupt enemy supply chains. Now, I think this one's a little bit misleading for this week because interrupt enemy supply chains just means a resource convoy, but I completed a resource convoy and it didn't work. So I think it means elite resource convoys. If we go over to the map, this is what an elite resource convoy looks like. It's the resource convoy icon with like the segmented circle around it. This is what you're going to need to find anywhere on your map. So a normal resource convoy won't be good enough. I'm just having a look. There's a normal one there. That won't be good enough. You need to find an elite one, and hopefully this will work. I'll double check now. So we've just completed that elite resource convoy. Now we're going to run over the loot to complete the activity. And there we go. It did count. We got scout activity completed. So that one is going to be a little bit annoying because you do need to wait until you find an elite resource convoy. It won't work on the normal ones. You can try logging out, logging back in, or just going about doing other activities and keeping an eye on the map until one spawns up. But if we go over to the manhunt, you'll see that it says here, complete an elite resource convoy. Should be a little bit more clearer on the clue for that one this week, but that's what it is. And then with that done, it's objective 3, where it says control points in a small will need gear for the uprising to be a success. And it's a progress bar here, 0 out of 150. And this one's a nice and easy one that you can just go and knock off. You should have already taken over the E-small control points anyway. So just fast travel to the control points and then find the control point officer. Once you find the control point officer, you'll be able to talk to them and you'll be able to donate materials. Now, hopefully you can donate just to one of these. They'll do the 150 that is needed. If not, just fast travel to more control points in E-small until you've donated the required amount. Once you've donated the required amount, you'll get scout activity completed, and that will be all for this week on this season's Manhunt. You'll be ready for the final week. So well done. It's been a hard one this season. All these hostage rescues and supply drops, it's been a royal pain, but yeah, good luck. I hope they spawn for you. You can get these done rather quickly. I do hope this video has been helpful. If it has been, hit like and comment as always. Support us, subscribe for more content. I'm going to end the video now and let you have a listen to this comm that we got for this week. And until next time, thank you for watching and take care.
You wanted to see me, sir? Major Colonel, you've been leading our efforts to root out the defectors, correct? I've done what's been asked of me, sir. No need to be modest. The True Sons are going through turbulent times. I need people I can trust. You have my loyalty, General. Good. Then you've earned this. Congratulations, Lieutenant Colonel. Sir, it's an honor. Forgive me, I'm just, not sure I'm ready for that. Colonel has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? With respect, sir, I'll never hear the end of it. Then you'd better set the tone. A title's nothing without respect. Earn it.